grab yourselves a cosy drink, make sure you've got a blanket to hand, because today we are in for a super cosy and festive vlog. It is currently Tuesday the 26th of November. In 1 month's time it's going to be Boxing Day. Boxing Day in 1 month! I'm currently standing in one of my favourite places in the whole wide world. If you're somebody who loves the changing of seasons, then living right by a nature reserve is just one of the best places to be. Come on, let's walk towards the beautiful sunrise. We're going to keep an eye out for muntjac deer on the way. Wow, the sun on my face. I'm just going to stand for a moment because the sun on my face is just glorious this morning. If you live in the UK, you'll know that we had a huge storm over the weekend called Storm Bert, and it brought rain, snow, winds. I saw something very funny on Instagram the other day that said, if they don't call the next storm Storm Ernie, then they will be very, very annoyed. I think Storm Bert has probably put an end to the autumn that we had. But there definitely feels like there is a shift in the air. We are moving now from autumn into winter, and I am very excited about it. I'm somebody who loves the autumn, but I think I probably love the winter just as much. Tuesday last week, I was down here in a snow blizzard. So we've already had our first snow of the winter. We've already had our first frost of the winter. We've probably all got our winter duvets out by now, and I have made a hot water bottle or two just to keep myself nice and warm in the middle of the night. Can feel the cold on my fingertips as I'm talking to you. It is a gloriously sunny day today, but don't be fooled. The weather is very, very cold. I wish I had my hat on. Storm Bert has meant that most of the trees have now lost their leaves. I am looking just down here, I'll show you. There are a few trees down here that seem to be clinging on to their last leaves, but most of these trees are now completely bare. Another sign of winter, very early morning frost over here. As lots of you will know, Storm Bert brought down so many trees, and I have just seen some huge branches over here. I just want to investigate, have they been chopped down or did they come down in the storm? I've got a feeling they came down in the storm. Let's go and have a look. Well, I think it's safe to say that these huge branches came down in the storm. It's actually quite unbelievable. Look. Well, that's definitely not been chopped down, has it? So all of this here, this just goes to show how big, strong and powerful Storm Bert was over the weekend. There are so many branches down here. I'm quite fascinated to know where they've come from. I've just heard a couple of people saying that quite a lot of trees came down, and I actually feel quite emotional about seeing these branches. I'm not really sure why the emotions come over me like it has, but it has for some reason. I think probably the emotions come from, you know, we walk past these trees most weeks, and seeing them on the ground like this is sad. I feel sad about it. In November, the nights have definitely drawn in, and the evening starts much, much earlier on. You're really thinking about getting your lights on around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. For me, it's never the big lights. It's always the warm lights, the twinkly lights, the lamps. I've never been one for cool lights. I always like the warm glow, particularly the vintage bulbs. I've just come this way, albeit very, very muddy. I just want to have a look at my favourite trees over here. The last time I was down here, it had a few remaining leaves, and I just love this tree so much. Let me show you what it's like today. The tree has the sunrise on this morning, but you can see just by this tree how the seasons have changed. That's the tree just there, by the way. I was down here around 3 weeks ago explaining why I love that tree so much. The tree was covered in leaves 3 weeks ago. Last week I took some video footage and it was just holding on to its remaining leaves, and of course after Storm Bert, no leaves are left on the tree. I feel like we are officially in the winter season. I would love to know more about how you find the changing of seasons. Do you enjoy the winter time, or are you hanging out for spring? A little bit more festivity is entering the home today. We've got a Tesco food shop arriving in about 20 minutes, I'd say. GB's at home at the moment, but he is going into London around midday, so I need to take him to the station. Then we've got the afternoon doing festive activities at home. I need to pop over to Savins at some point because today is about changing the balcony from autumn to winter. I'm thinking about what winter plants to pop along the balcony, and there's going to be a very festive touch to the balcony. I'm also very excited because today we're going to change our kitchen over to a little cosy Christmas kitchen. Can't wait to share with you how I bring the outside in to create a cosy yet sustainable Scandi style kitchen. Fingers crossed a delivery of beautiful black velvet ribbon will be arriving, because I would love to share with you a little craft that you could use in your kitchen, on your table on the big day, or as a Christmas decoration anywhere you like in your home. It's time for me to head back home, grab a coffee and wait for the Tesco delivery driver to arrive. Well, I'm home from the most glorious early winter's walk. I was just about to make myself a coffee, but Tesco delivery is about to turn up, and I have just seen that our window cleaner is doing the rounds and we are having our arch window cleaned. You never know when he's going to turn up, but I am so pleased it's today because, as you know, we're changing over the balcony today from the autumn horicas over to a beautiful winter's display. So let's get that job done first.
Hands on the wheel of my 13 Ford. It's me and you. I'm zoning out and you're acting bored. Don't remember the last hour, the last years. Did I hurt you bad? You grabbed my hand. Did you get lost down in Sleeper Land?
I think it's probably best to show you this as sort of dinners that I've got planned. Now, I am really looking forward to these. I really fancied something like fish fingers in a bun. So I bought the cod fish cakes and then the brioche buns. We'll have this with a side salad. Then I've got some, this isn't pork, caramelised onion sausages. These are 100% plant-based. We tend not to buy too much processed vegetarian food. I've really been craving sort of sausages, mash, peas, Yorkshire and gravy. So I've bought these as a treat. Some Yorkshire puddings, peas, and I will make the mash. Over here I've got prawns and then some salmon, and you'll know how much I love to make a fish pie this time of year, which is why I've bought the leeks, and then I've got the milk and everything else that I need to make the fish pie at home. As I mentioned, GB is in London today. It's very likely he's out for dinner this evening. So I have bought some mushrooms, then the stir fry sort of meal deal that they do, the protein noodles, a stir fry pack, and then the teriyaki sauce. For cooking apples, I've really been on to stewed apple at the moment. It's really nice with porridge. Bought some pine nuts for pasta dishes. We always have cashews in the house, and quite often I'll put those with things like the stir fry later on. GB loves a natural yoghurt, and these are my favourite yoghurts at the moment. Eggs, we often have eggs for breakfast or eggs for lunch. Last night I made a chilli, which meant that I was out of vegetable stock, so I've restocked those. Again, I used the onions up last night with my vegetarian chilli. I also replaced the corn mince, carrots and broccoli just to go with our meals. Our lovely subscribers popped a comment on last week saying they try and guess how many plants Cher is going to buy each vlog. Well, I'm guessing this does class as a plant. This is a basil plant because the last one has completely finished. So I always have fresh herbs in the house and we needed a new basil. I've told you about these before. The Starbucks toffee nut flavoured coffee. These are for the Nespresso machine. And oh my goodness me, I really do recommend them. I think they're about £4.50 each. They are definitely worth it in the run up to Christmas. We buy one packet of biscuits a week and sometimes we find that the plainest biscuits are the best ones. So I've gone for malted milk this week. Chocolate choice of the week is Toblerone. It always feels super festive for me and this is currently on offer in Tesco. I think it's around £4. It's the huge bar. So this will last us all week. We'll probably take off a triangle in the evening and enjoy that. But in an ideal world, if chocolate did not have calories, I would like to get myself set up right now, put a Christmas movie on and just munch away at this Toblerone bar.
You say understand, dreams are but dreams down in Sleeperland.
Well, it's a little bit later on now. It's just gone past 11. GB is getting ready to go into London. So that is my next job, is to take him over to the station. The window is super clean, ready for the beautiful winter window boxes that I'm going to do this afternoon. I'm so looking forward to sharing with you how I decorate the balcony for the festive season. I've put the Tesco food away and I've managed to find 5 minutes just to very quickly straighten my hair. This is a very quick, rough straighten. It may even go up later on. So after I've dropped GB to the station, we're going to pop over to Savin's. It's going to be a very quick in-out visit because I know that I think I only took you there with me maybe 2 weeks ago. So I'm literally going in today, finding what I need and then walking straight past all of the herbs, straight past all of the houseplants and straight to the till. I promise, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going in for what I need. But after we've done that, we need to stop somewhere on the way. I need some greenery for our kitchen. So I've mentioned that the kitchen is going to have a sustainable feel and I really like to bring the outside in. I'll leave it there for now and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as we go through the day. If you love Christmas content, don't forget just to press subscribe and then you'll be notified when all the new videos are available. The doorbell rang earlier today and thankfully it's 2 things that I need for today. So in here, the floristry wire has arrived. So I always go for black because the balcony is black and I'll show you how I'm going to use this later on. I am very excited that this has arrived and I am so pleased with how much there is of this. So I'm just going to take it out of its cellophane. So I've ordered some black velvet ribbon. I am so pleased that it isn't any wider than this. This is just perfect for the craft that we're going to do later on today. I think there's around 25 yards here and I paid around £4.99 and it came the next day. So it was a really good find. I'll pop the link to this in the description because I'm quite sure that when you see today's craft, all about bringing the outside in, you may want to give this activity a go. GB is all dropped off at the station. I am on my way to Savin's. It's gloriously sunny now, but very cold. Just driving past another garden centre here. During the storm, all their Christmas reindeer fell down. They're back up now though, that's good. Oh, they are so nice here. I'm a super happy girl. They've just done me a really good deal on my balcony plants, and she wanted to hear about what I was doing. So we're leaving Savins now. They've got the most amazing Christmas trees here, by the way, if that's something that you're interested in. I am not turning my normal way. I'm going to turn left because, just be careful here, because the entrance is a little bit tight. Right, so are we okay? Turning left because just up here between two villages is a church. And around like the outside, it's like on the main road, they have got the most amazing deep green conifers. I'm hoping that they've not been cut back because I like to give them a little bit of a trim this time of year. And they've got the dark green. They do look quite sharp, let's say. Let's just drive past. I'm here now, so okay, yeah, there's definitely a few bits I could get from there. So just a little bit from the roadside. So I'm going to come round to this corner here and just park up in the churchyard. And then we can go round and just see. It's not very nice turning actually here. Go. There we go. Park here. Perfect. Right, hopefully the car's not going to get stuck. Let's go and get some greenery, head home, and we can start the balcony. Christmas decorations are very much based upon earthy sort of tones from nature. That's the inspiration. I really like to bring as much as I can of the outside in. Well, it is sunny but cold outside. Gloriously sunny but freezing cold. It's just gone at 2 p.m. and the day is already going away with us. It always goes so fast, doesn't it? The day together always goes super quick. I'm going to run down to the car, go and get the other bits and pieces, and then we can start getting the balcony done, ready for the festive season. I absolutely cannot wait. This is something that I do every year. I try and mix it up a little bit using different plants or different wreaths or different bows. I don't want to give too much away, but it won't be long and we can get started. Okay, so it is time to get started on the festive winter balcony. I'm keeping my hat on. It's very chilly. I'm going to open up the balcony very soon, so I'm just going with the winter vibes today. I've got some different plants here, so I've picked up 8 little ivies. Can you see how happy I am? I'm not sure of the name of these silver ones, but I felt like they looked very wintry and almost frosty. So I've picked up, how many did I pick up of those? Oh yes, I picked up 8. I picked up 8 of these. Then I picked up 16 little conifers, and they are just so cute, but I thought they'd be perfect in my pots. So without further ado, let's get started. You know, when the sun is shining, but it's a cold day. There's been a frost this morning. It's just the perfect start of winter. Just popping compost in first of all. A little bit of height. We've got the conifers and the silver, and then we're going to have an ivy draping over. These ivies with the cream rim always remind me so much of my mum. My mum always loved variegated ivy. You can see why, it's so beautiful. Well, that looks very, very wintry. And that is the first wintry window box done. It looks lovely.
I've been waiting all year long for something special. I was hoping you'd fly south with the birds. There's no snow this year, but hey, that's nothing new. What feels different now is I'm spending it with you.
8 window boxes are done. You can see that the sun is going in and out. It's about to set actually. It's just gone past 3 o'clock and the sun is due to set, I would say. Let's just see where it is. Yeah, it is quite low already. I'm going to go and put these along our Juliet balcony and then I'm going to show you how I just make the balcony a little bit extra special for this time of year.
No matter what, every year feels the same. But you brought back that feeling that melted away. Something's been missing, but this year it changed. And now Christmas doesn't feel so far away.
When you come around the bend and you can see the balcony with all its festivities, just brings such a smile to my face. It just makes me know I'm at home. I just love being at home.
Just to look at lights and feel anything at all. I can't find the cold, but every year that's true. It just got warmer now that I'm sitting here with you. And no matter what, every year feels the same. But you brought back that feeling that melted away.
Now that I've got that basic structure along the Juliet balcony, I'm going to, now that I'm so happy, I'm just so happy. Now that I've got the structure, the base of the original garland, I'm going to add some of the conifer that I found out and about today. And I'm also going to add a few artificial stems. These were bought from Amazon, I believe. The idea is that I just build up a few bouquets of the artificial and the conifer. Well, the balcony is looking fabulous. The sun is setting. It's definitely chilly. Here is the finishing touch to the balcony. It is absolutely beautiful. A gigantic, deep red velvet bow is about to be placed on the balcony. Once it's on the balcony, I do stitch the ribbon to the bars just so that it doesn't move. Gives it a really nice shape and it is just the perfect finishing touch. The apartment is white with an arch window, so the red bow just really, really stands out. Let's go and see what it will look like.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la.
Here's what the balcony looked like last Tuesday. Last Tuesday it was a snow day, but the balcony was very, very autumnal with horicas and a beautiful autumn wreath. And here is what the balcony looks like now. It's all dressed up and ready for December.
For us, la 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 la.
Good morning, it's now Wednesday the 27th of November. You will probably realise that yesterday I did not get round to creating the cosy Christmas kitchen. I think sometimes, I'm not sure if you're the same, but sometimes you can have these ideas in your head that you can think you can do a million things in a day, and then the time just goes. By the time I'd finished the Christmas balcony, it was gone 5 o'clock. I was due to pick GB up around 6:30 from the station, and then by the time we got home, we had some tea, we had a little bit of a catch up. There was just not the time to really invest my whole energy into decorating the kitchen. And it's always one of those jobs that I absolutely love to do every single year, and I didn't want to rush it. So I have got that to look forward to today, and I am so excited. I'd love to know if you are very similar thinking to me. I can wake up in the morning and think, I've got a whole day ahead of me. I'm going to go to the garden centre, I'm going to get some plants, I'm going to change the window boxes, I'm going to complete the balcony, I'm going to do a food shop, and you run out of time to do the extra things that you wanted to do. I'm looking at it as a little Christmas win that I'm going to be decorating the kitchen today. I love to decorate, as I'm sure you all do at home as well. And rather than just rushing it, I can spend time today really embracing my whole heart, my whole body and my whole soul into making over my kitchen, and I really can't wait to share this with you. Later on, there is a beautiful little Christmas craft that I'm sure you are all going to enjoy. It's just gone 9:30. I've got dressed and ready for the day. I love this jumper dress. This is a H&M jumper dress. I love the funnel neck of this one. I love the colour, and I also love the rib detail. I think this dress is a couple of years old. I am a big fan of the H&M jumper dresses. I think I bought one from H&M this year, but I do find that if you go up slightly on your price bracket, the jumper dresses will last. As I say, I've had this for 2 years and it still washes and wears really beautifully. Our bedroom is decorated for Christmas. If you would love to see that, that was the video before this one. I do a complete bedroom clean, tidy, organised, and then the bedroom is now a Christmas wonderland. Come on, let's go through to the kitchen, make a coffee, and then we can get started. You'll notice that I've opened the doors, firstly, of course, to see the work that we did yesterday, but secondly, we love to have the doors open first thing in the morning, no matter what the weather, just to let some fresh air run through the house. Yesterday it was gloriously sunny, and today it's very wet and quite windy as well. In the next Christmas video, I'm going to be putting up the big tree right in front of the window. Okay, so moving through into the kitchen. Before Christmas commences in the kitchen, I'm going to have to give it just a little bit of a clean. So I know that all the cupboards are organised, they're all clean already. If you've caught up with the Christmas bedroom makeover, you'll know that I can't bring anything Christmassy into this room until it's been given a clean. Thankfully, the cupboards are organised, but I want to really clean the tiles, I want to clean the wooden sides. The Christmas kitchen makeover is going to be inspired by a trip where GB and I went with some friends to Sweden. We went to a town called I'm going to try and say it again because I can say it, Gamlestan. We went to Gamlestan. Please forgive me if I've said that incorrectly. I know that there are some lovely friend followers over from Sweden who watch the channel, so I do apologise if I've said it incorrectly. We went to Gamlestan and it was absolutely stunning. They do Christmas so incredibly beautifully, and in fact I don't remember seeing any colourful Christmas lights anywhere. Gamlestan was just incredibly beautiful over the Christmas season. It gave me so much inspiration for a simple, neutral, natural Christmas. A real Scandinavian, Nordic Christmas vibe. So what we saw over in Sweden was bringing the outside in. Hence why I've got lots and lots of conifer today, because we're going to be using the conifer to decorate the kitchen. They also are very limited on colour. So there wasn't the big garish flashing lights or the really brightly coloured Santas and reindeers on top of houses. It was far more neutral, warm white lighting everywhere, including the office blocks. Oh, I'm just thinking about it now. There was a walk from Gamla stan over a bridge into Stockholm, the main city of Sweden. And that walk will stay with me forever because it was the most beautiful, neutral, calm Christmas decor that I think that I have ever seen in my life. Being over in Sweden just before Christmas has not only inspired the way that I decorate for the season, but it's also inspired how I decorate my home in general. I'm going to get emotional, but I'm not going to. I think it had such an impact on me and many things. Sorry. I'm wondering why I'm getting emotional. It's so silly. I don't know why I'm going to get emotional about Christmas decor. I think it's because I saw the true meaning of the simplicity of Christmas and how beautiful that can be. The way that Sweden really look at bringing nature in and bringing the simplicity of Christmas into the home almost makes it more. When we got home from that trip, it was the next day and I was standing at the big tree, sort of faffing around with the big tree in the main room. GB walks in, says, "What are you doing, love?" "I'm just taking off some of the decorations from the tree." And he said, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Well, I feel like someone's come in and just thrown up Christmas all over the current tree." I think that what I meant by that is that I loved the time in Sweden so much. I wanted to replicate it at home. And the current tree decor that we had then was not in keeping with what I had seen. And that was the start of the Scandi Nordic Christmas theme. So since then, I have really calmed down my Christmas, but also I feel like I've made it more beautiful. And today is going to be about sharing the simplicity of Christmas in your home. I think we can all get quite easily dragged into what's new in the shops. I have to have this, I have to have that. And I'm hopefully going to share with you today that you actually don't need a lot to make your home beautiful at Christmas. This kitchen is quite a small space. It was designed by IKEA, funnily enough, talking about Sweden. The kitchen is an IKEA kitchen. Interesting, isn't it? I hadn't really put the two and two together that the kitchen is IKEA and that is a Swedish brand. So the kitchen itself is black cabinets with wooden work surfaces and then stainless steel cabinets. We lifted up the cabinets quite high just to give us more space. The other thing that we did to create a little bit more space in here was to lower the fridge and the freezer. So we've now got fridge, freezer, which means that rather than having a tall cabinet, we've got more work surface. So that works really well for us. And another little space saving tip for us was to put the microwave up in the cabinet. And that was my idea. And I was so proud of that because I'm in an iron about whether to have a microwave. But obviously if you've got a microwave out on the side, it does take up space. Talking about safe spacing, safe spacing, I've done it again. Space saving. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think when you're talking to the camera, you know what you want to say. I love vlogging, but sometimes my words don't come out. I'm really sorry about that. Let's try again. Space saving. Talking about space saving, that's right. Talking about space saving, is that right? Yes. I'm losing my mind. Talking about I've done it again. Talking about space saving, I love my on the stove kettle. Firstly, the noise of this kettle when it goes off is just the most homeliest sound. When I'm making GB an English breakfast tea and you hear the sound of the whistle throughout the apartment, you just know you're at home. Anyway, The reason I was going to show you this for the space saving is because obviously it doesn't have a lead. So that is a great little tip. We just put it on the stove, no lead. The other thing that you'll notice is that there is no toaster out. So the toaster lives in the cupboard, and again, that just helps us to have more work surface. And I think that's really, really important when you have a small galley kitchen like this.
We could climb every mountain, we could swim the deep blue sea, we could cross every desert and come back again. We could go any distance to chase down every dream. We could reach all the stars, but in the end, I know where we belong. I know a place where we can go. I know a place where we can go, where we are safe, where we are known. I know that there's no place like home.
I have a little story to tell you about the coffee bar. You may know already, GB and I are coffee shop lovers. I don't know if you know that. I mean, I'm guessing that you do by now. We love nothing more than to sit drinking coffee, having coffee dates, chatting, working from a coffee shop. We often do that. We'll sit opposite one another and work. We actually met in a coffee shop in Hitchin. That is a story for another day. But this coffee bar has a bit of a story, because who remembers lockdown? I mean, it's hard to forget, isn't it? Lockdown was such a difficult time for everybody for so many reasons. In that Christmas of 2020, we were in lockdown in England. So we were all tiered, first of all. So some people were allowed out, some people weren't. Some people were allowed to mix, some people weren't. We had been told that our tier was a stay-at-home tier for Christmas. And I really didn't know what to get GB for Christmas that year, just knowing that, you know, Christmas presents weren't important that year. It was about being at home with the people that you love and creating a very special day in the best of the difficult situation. So I decided to create a coffee shop in the kitchen. I ordered this really thick plank of pine wood from Etsy. I ordered some stools and some cozy seat pads. I moved the coffee bar to the middle. GB wasn't allowed anywhere. I'd bought a coffee machine, coffee pods of all different types. I set the kitchen up for breakfast. I had a few little like stocking filler presents in here. I remember setting my alarm on Christmas Day morning for 5 a.m. just to have time to set the kitchen up how I wanted it, ready for Christmas morning breakfast. It was a complete surprise. GB did not know anything about what the kitchen was going to look like. So he came through. Let's just say it was very emotional. I think because we'd met in a coffee shop, we were really missing coffee shop vibes, it being lockdown, knowing that we are together at home for Christmas. That whole Christmas Day morning will always stay with us as being a super magical Christmas day. Oh, I'm going to get emotional again. Christmas does make you emotional, doesn't it? I've just gathered together a few bits and pieces that I may be using in the kitchen today. Primarily we're going to be using conifer. So I foraged this yesterday, as you know. Some of it's gone on the balcony and this is left over. If you're keen to do something similar at home, you'll need some suction hooks. So I'm just going to show you the great ones. The suction hooks that have this gap in the middle, originally they had this little metal hook. I've taken the hooks out of most of them because it's this bit here that you will require to put your branches in. Last year I made my own Christmas tree bunting. I used ribbon and I've strung lights through. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that today. Oh, it looks so beautiful once it's up. To keep this bunting looking super sharp, I've just run an iron over and then put a heavy book over the top of all the trees just so they didn't curl from the heat. I've got the gold stars. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use them or not, so I've just put them down just in case. So last year I bought these honeycomb tree decorations from B&M. I'm not sure if they've got them in this year. They must have something similar. I don't know whether to use these in the kitchen or the main room this year, so I've just put them on the table. Here I've got my little Christmas tree. I love this tree. We've also got one in our bedroom. Absolutely beautiful. I made these wreaths. These wreaths need a little bit of attention. I've had them for a few years now, but I'm quite keen to put the black velvet ribbon on, and I may use those within the kitchen. I've got 2 of those. No, I haven't. I've got 3. I've got the black velvet ribbon. I'll be showing you how I'm going to use this later on. I've used these bells in the kitchen before. If they're not used this year, they may be used on the tree or somewhere else at home, but I've put them down here just as an option. Right, I've also got just around here, all my houseplants are this end. I have some vintage style lights. I'm going to show you how I style those soon. And then I've got my little set, they're the same. These smaller ones are for the little Christmas tree. It's a little bit later on now, we're 10 to 1. I've just stopped for some lunch. Marmite on toast was my lunch of choice today. I just wanted something quick, but also delicious. But when you have Marmite on toast, you have to have it with white bread and loads of butter, and that's what I had. I'm also going to have a piece of my Malteser tray bake. I love a good no-bake bake, and on my last vlog I shared with you how to make Malteser tray bake, and it's absolutely delicious. What's great about it is you can freeze it, so once it had cooled down in the fridge, I just cut it into squares, popped it in the freezer, and you know what that means? It means that you're not constantly going to get it. So because it's in the freezer, I just go occasionally and pick up a piece, and it is absolutely delicious. One more bit and then I'm going to crack on. I can enjoy that over the afternoon. It's one of those bakes that's actually better once it's been in the freezer. All the ingredients like soak up into one another. So good. We're going to put the tree in first of all. Let's make sure that the lights work. I've put some batteries in already. Yes, they're lovely. I really love lights when they have that vintage shape, just like these ones do. With this little tree, I've popped it into a black material basket just to give a real Nordic vibe. I've shaped the branches so that they're going up slightly. What I absolutely love about this tree is you can see that the branches are actually uneven. It adds to the more realistic vibe of it. I love to place a tree in front of the window because you get that reflection and it always just looks so twinkly. I'm going to leave the tree. I'm not going to put anything else on it. I may put a topper on it. I may put a black ribbon bow. I'm not too sure yet, but I want it as plain as can be. Next up, we're going to add some fairy lights, those vintage ones I was showing you earlier, and I'm going to put them against the wall at the back and then the wall at the side. I've wrapped these lights around a strong piece of cardboard, then they won't get tangled. Let's just make sure that they're working. Yes, they are. And I'm looking for my suction hooks. So I was showing you these earlier. It's already starting to look quite festive in here. I've got the warm vintage style LED lights around the kitchen. It's amazing how much twinkly lights can just make you feel so warm and fuzzy inside. What we're going to do now is I'm going to just have a very quick look at these conifers. Do you remember me saying that we're going to be doing a craft later on? I need some long stems just placed separately. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do. Anything that's quite long, you may already know what we'll be doing. I'm going to try and keep it as a surprise because I know how much you love the craft sections, and I think that this is a really nice one. Most of us have access to conifer. I do have a lot of access to the light green one, but not so much the dark. I have got some more in the garden if we require. Once you've foraged your conifer, make sure that you give it a really, really good drink with water. So mine is still quite damp, and I will show you how to take care of it once it's up. Let's see if I can do this in the camera. So I'm going to use my suckers and I'm going to pile them up with the conifer. So pushing them in. So there's one. You don't always have to use the biggest stem. It's sometimes quite nice if you use a smaller stem. And then you will layer them up. So don't worry if you can only get one in, because the next time you will go over the top. This moment is one of my favourite moments in the whole year. It's a moment that I just think about throughout the year, is decorating the home for Christmas. I know that that may sound strange, but I also know that many of you will feel exactly the same. Isn't there something special about caring for your home? And it's almost like putting a little cherry on the top of your home for the festive season. Come on, let's get going. You're almost building up a bit of a base just to begin with. So I've got my branch on my sticky hook. I'm going to find a place. I'm lifting up the light. Got anything left over at the end, I can just slot them in. Doesn't it look wonderful so far? Beautiful. And I'm playing around with the wires just to get the lights coming out. I mean, this is just Christmas. It's hardly cost any money at all. A bit of time to collect the conifer. The lights were around £5, not much more. And it's just so effective and simple. I love it. I would love to know what you think about using the conifer as a sustainable garland, bringing the outside in. It may not be for everybody. That's the thing about Christmas, is we all have our own traditions, the things that we like, things that we do year after year. And then we also like to try new things. If they work, we then reintroduce them again other years. I just wanted to very quickly mention and notice that the garland is above the cooker. If I am at the stove and it's on and I'm making dinner, please don't worry. I will stand here and I will make sure that none of the garland falls into our vegetables. I just wanted to very quickly mention it because I care deeply about you all and I really don't want any accidents.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la, la la la.
The kitchen is looking absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy with how the garland is turning out. I've got a few scraps and bits and pieces left over. Remember I said about the long pieces? We're going to be doing a little bit of a craft. You will simply need long pieces of conifer, some floristry wire, some ribbon. I've chosen black velvet ribbon. I've seen something like this craft over on Instagram and over on Pinterest. So the idea is that we pick a longer piece of conifer and we mould it into a wreath shape. Once you've got your circle shape, you'll just need to tie it with a tiny little bit of wire just to secure it in place. Wow, I think this is going to look great. Beautiful little wreath shape. Next you will need some ribbon. They look nice just hanging like that, don't they? So do you know the tip about tying bows? So we've always been taught, haven't we, to do a bow, come in that way, over your fingers like down, twist it going up, and you will see you get a much better, when you're in a vintage dress shop, you learn these things. I'm going to put some ribbon just in the back so that we can hang it. Once you've got your bow in place, it really does look beautiful. You could also use rosemary. Rosemary works really well as well. Well, aren't these little wreaths beautiful? I'm hoping to put them just along the back there. I've got 3 at the moment. Let's go and see what these 3 look like and just see if I do need any more. I'm not going to mess around too much with the advent calendar. I did think about using black ribbon. Oh, shall I use some black ribbon? What does that look like? I've got a scrap here. I'm going to put black ribbon around the advent calendar. I have this little bit left over and I've just had an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm thinking I may, oh, that does look nice, doesn't it? This is what thinking on the spot looks like. I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to put black ribbon just on the top, and I'm just going to attach some wire to the leftover conifer. I am going to do that, aren't I? Yes, I am. Come on, let's do that. Days like this go so fast, don't they? I mean, they're just the best days. Making your home festive. Well, ta-da! What do you all think of my little cosy kitchen? I mentioned earlier today that I would let you know how I keep the garland fresh from now until Christmas. Last year I made the conifer garland on the 22nd of November. It's now the 27th, and last year it lasted beyond Boxing Day. I think we took the decorations down around the 30th, and I remember thinking, wow, it's really lasted. You may be wondering, does it drop? I don't get anything on the sides. Obviously, I've given the kitchen a really good clean now because I've had it all out on the work surfaces. Pretty much it stays exactly as you can see it now. The way to keep the garland fresh is just using one of these water sprays. Fill it up with some water. Okay, so then all you do is you go around your garland and you just spray it with water. And obviously it's only water, so it's not going to harm anything. Those plants, a little bit of a spray while I'm there. In the corner. Just a little bit up there. I probably do that. I say every second day. I actually don't do it every second day. I probably do it maybe once a week. But in an ideal world, I would probably spray the garland every other day, every 3rd day, and it just keeps it looking really nice. Well, that draws us to a close for today, and I really don't want this vlog to end. I think this has been my favourite vlog to prepare so far. I've really enjoyed preparing the balcony and showing you the cosy kitchen. In the next vlog, I'm going to be decorating the main tree, so do watch out for that. If you're not already subscribed, remember just to hit the subscribe button and then you can see all of the upcoming Christmas content. It'd be great to have you here. Thanks so much for watching. Please do keep in touch. I absolutely love to hear from you. And I will see you all again on Saturday. Take care. Bye.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la.